say on how to spend money after they have deposited that money to the department account. After they have been given authority to expend, the time they are supposed to transfer that money using a deposit and suspense voucher, because this is not an expense, it's something called contra entry. You're not supposed to, in your cash book or in your reconciliation, you're not supposed to get it as an expense. After that, the department transferred the same amount of money to the facility using still a deposit and suspense voucher. Then we have F22. This is the claim for travel and subsistence allowance. This is a type of voucher that is used in case of a government officer has traveled for an official trip and needs to be refunded. You used your money, you used your funds to facilitate it, and you're supposed to be refunded. This is the kind of voucher that we use to refund in such a scenario. And we have the images. Maybe if we need to get more clarity.
Let me read some more comments. We have credit and debit vouchers suggested by our participants. We're still on the right track. Cash and non-cash vouchers from Idle Queen, and sales vouchers and cash vouchers from Fatma. I think we are all on the same, they're all discussing the same things that Nancy has just explained.
This is the image of payment voucher. That is F20, whereby at the top, you can see this is where we have the payee, the payee, whoever is being paid. And then here we have all the authorizers, those people who are going to, those officers that authorize this document for it to be fully approved, and now it can be paid. The second one is more the same like the other one. We have the pay, obviously, where we are transferring the money, the funds to, what is called F21. The same procedure takes place. Yeah, all the people that are supposed to authorize it, to approve it, are supposed to sign in this document. Claim for travel and subsistence allowance is a bit different, F22, where we have now the name of whoever I need the refund. And at the same time, we have somewhere that is supposed that whoever is claiming for the refund has to sign, and these all have information, date, it will be approved the same way, and the procedure for the payment is approved. And reason for preparing a voucher. Why do we prepare a voucher? Yeah. First is for purchase of goods and services. The one of our respondents has said about the sales voucher. Yes, purchase of goods and services. Then we have refund for services rendered to the government by its worker. That is the example of the claim voucher. The claim subsistence allowance voucher. For the sake of, if we go back to the above slide about the reason for preparing, we have said it's about the purchase of goods and services. And when we, for purchase of goods and services, automatically we go to procurement. If we are purchasing things in the government way, we have to go to use the procurement method. We don't use cash to purchase goods. We need at least to understand an overview of stages of procurement, because before you prepare a voucher, a voucher for payment of goods and services, all these things must take place. We cannot prepare a voucher without the procurement process.
Yes, and before you proceed, George has commented that another reason for preparation of vouchers is for accountability purposes.
Sure. Thank you, George. Stages of procurement process. We have the first stage, which is the need recognition. The user department recognizes that we need a given item or a given service. this scenario, after you need recognition. And then after the unit department realizes that he has a need, they have a need, we go to the next stage where we purchase requisition. And this stage is where the user, the expert in that field, are going to come together and to raise now the requisition according maybe to the specs, if it's a laptop or a printer, the specs that is needed, the quantity that is needed, the price that maybe we have done the market survey. So in this stage is where we do the purchase requisition. Then the next stage, we review. The request is reviewed, which in order, does it contain all the things that are required. From there, our request is approved. We approve the request by the maybe the head of the department, that is maybe the chief officer or the accounting officer or the facility in charges. After the budget has been approved, we go to quotation requests. Here, the quotation are quoted is in case of quotation, and different suppliers give their those who are interested, bid for such an activity is in their reynolds or surprise. After that, at this stage is where now the lowest bidder is appointed, and we come into a contract between the supplier and the department, and we have now, that is negotiation at this stage now where we have the negotiation and contract. At this stage, the supplier is given the LCO, that is local purchasing order, which is a document which an official document that is approved by the chief officer. And then after the supplier has been given the LCO, he has or she has the warrant to supply now the goods. So with the raw food document, that's even you can use it as a photo draw. At this stage now, he has the authority to supply the goods to the department or to different MDAs. Goods are received at the store, and at this stage, they are verified whether they are in the right order as according to the requests. When goods are received, we go to this stage, that is the three-way matching. At this three-way matching, here we have the purchasing order. We check, is it the goods were they supplied according to the purchasing order that we ordered? If they are okay, we check now, are they in the right order? That is receipt of goods and services. Are they in the right order? In this stage, a facility in charge or the head of department is supposed to form an ad hoc committee, just a special committee, to facilitate this process, to make sure that the good that has been supplied according to the requests and according to the quality and the quantity that we require, and they are in the right order. Yes. From there, at this stage, an invoice is written. Then we go to where our invoice is approved by the payment section, that is in the finance unit. And now at this stage, after the invoice has been approved, we have to go ahead to write now a payment to pay the supplier. And the next thing is we do the record keeping for the purposes of future reference and for the purposes of accountability. Then the next stage is we need to understand what are the documents. I have not called this stage, and we need to understand what are the documents necessary for payment of goods. When we are paying goods, which are the documents that we are supposed to have before we write a payment voucher?
So from this slide, I guess, as we move together, we just have to appreciate that from what I'm learning is for proper payments to be done, the procurement process has to be in order. Yes, Nancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Now we need to understand the documents necessary for payment of goods, which are the documents as an accounting officer, as an accountant, as a finance officer that you're supposed to have before writing that payment, proceeding with that payment of goods. What are the documents that you need to have?
Okay, thank you. George has already started the conversation. He says we need to have a delivery note. Thank you, George.
Sure.
Guys, from what we just picked from all this, maybe we can type in what we think are the documents that we need to have ready before a payment can be made, so that by the time it gets to the accounting department, you don't have challenges with payments for goods and services offered to you as a facility head or an AIE holder. What do you think are the documents that we need to attach to a voucher? Inspection report. Thank you very much, Anatolia. Very nice to see you here. A delivery note, an invoice. Wow, thank you. Invoice and a purchase order. Wow, thank you. Any more? Just keep typing, we'll go through them. Thank you. Thank you, Ahlam, LPO.
Oh, great. At least we are together. I love it. Yeah, document necessary for payment procedure. We have a copy of LPO, specifically triplicate. That's counter book. And maybe I won't assume a copy of LPO. LPO is local purchasing order. We have that booklet, that counter book. In every leaflet, we have 4 leaflets that you're supposed to write for each supply of goods. We need to understand for all those 4 leaflets, where each and every leaflet has its purpose. It's not supposed, I can see like some, if I go around, you see just cracked the original one and all the others are left in that counter book. No. The original leaflet is supposed to be given to the supplier. And from there now he's given the warrant or permission to authority to supply goods. The duplicate is filed in the procurement file. Then the triplicate is the one that is taken to the accounts department to proceed with to pay the supplier or process the payment. Then the 4 duplicates is the one that is left in the counter book. Meaning if I come and see any surprise that has been done, in that counter book, I'm only supposed to see 1 leaflet, that is the duplicate. Then we have the copy of S13. A copy of S13 is the one that was used to receive the goods in our stores. After the goods has been received in our store, they record all the goods according to the LPO. And the finance unit is supposed to get the triplicate of S13, showing sure that those goods were received in our stores, and we can proceed with our payments. Then in case purchased through quotation, at least through quotation, we need to see it. We didn't have an interest with one supplier. But we need to have at least 3 quotations showing why did we reject this, why did we need to have at least 3 quotations. Then a letter of authorization from the head of the department. We need to have That's the first thing I said, requisition letter. We need to have a letter of